Good morning. Thank you for joining us this month's Bloom Business Series webinar. My name is Julie Pinos. I'm the Executive Director of our Bloom Business Empowerment Center with the York County Economic Alliance. And today we're talking to several business owners, small business owners who have utilized Bloom's services, training, and funding opportunities, and a great chance for you to connect with them. Today's event is made possible by our presenting sponsor, PNC. And thank you to PNC for your continued support of our 2023 Bloom Business Series. Here's a short video highlighting PNC's commitment to our community. Now that we've watched the video, thank you again to PNC. And before we get started with our panel discussion, we have a guest here to tell us a little bit about PNC's tools for women and minority-owned businesses. Susan Lopez, who's joining us, is a business banking relationship manager with PNC Bank. She is PNC certified women's business advocate and PNC certified minority business advocate. She enjoys building banking relationships with businesses by expanding the financial services that they use and ensuring that products or services meet their needs. Welcome, Susan. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Sully. Thank you again for having me this morning. As Sully shared, my name is Susan Lopez. I am a business banking relationship manager for PNC Bank in the Lancaster region. I am also a PNC certified woman in business advocate and PNC certified minority business advocate. PNC is a proud supporter of the YCEA Downtown York and the Bloom Business Series webinar, as we believe everyone deserves access to information. They need to make informed financial decisions for themselves and for their businesses. I am very much looking forward to today's discussion with three incredible local business owners. But first, I've been asked to share a bit about PNC's commitment to female financial decision makers. At PNC, we believe that acknowledging and supporting ambitious goals and priorities help drive financial equality for everyone. At PNC, supporting women special products, rates, or services. It's about creating the right networks, providing the right resources, and asking the right questions. It's about listening, learning, and doing our part to help accelerate women's financial equality. We are proud to nearly over 4,000 PNC certified women business advocates. Our women business advocates are community and industry leaders whose passion for supporting female clients and employees is both personal and professional. We also recognize that being a great place for women to bank means we also need to be a great place for women to grow their careers. We are dedicated to attracting, retaining, developing, and advancing women. According to the World Economic Forum's 2020 Global Gender Gap Report, if progress continues at its current pace, it would actually take women 2.5 more centuries to economically catch up to men. That fact was the inspiration behind our new purpose-driven initiative, Project 257, Accelerating Women's Financial Equality, which was launched by PNC in 2021. As part of our commitment, we have partnered with Panelists, which provides 0% interest business loans to female entrepreneurs. PNC has correlate activators in every one of our markets across the country, including this one in CPA. If you are interested in learning more about any of this work, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'll have the event organizers share my information and pass that along so you guys can reach out. And that, let's go ahead and jump back into the program. I'll turn it over to Sully, who will go ahead and continue with introducing our panel.
Great. Thank you so much, Susan. And again, thank you to PNC for your ongoing commitment and support of this Bloom Business Series. Now, as today's topic is to learn more about the services and business owners and faces behind Bloom Business Empowerment Center, let's welcome our panelists. Our first guest is Pierra Jamison, owner of Naturale Luxe Day Spa. Pierra is a licensed esthetician and has a true passion for improving people's insecurities by boosting their confidence. She specializes in corrective skin treatments, hair removal, and non-invasive body treatments. Her process is like no other, working one-on-one throughout the entire process to ensure her clients see the results that they are looking for. She believes in redefining the spa experience in every way and pushing the limits for the professional and luxury. Next up, we'll have Ronalda Sedeno, owner of Realized Greatness. Ronalda is a business consultant, transformational coach, and speaker who specializes in helping women of faith prioritize their responsibilities to live from their light without burning out. Sounds beautiful. A single mom of two, she has firsthand experiences making the transition from overwhelmed and overloaded to passionately pursuing purpose. And our final panelist is Mica Simone, owner of Insatiable Melanin, a Black and women-owned custom print apparel business. This business hosts artistic community outreach programs for people of color and offers low-cost custom print clothing services. Thanks to all of our panelists for joining us today. You'll get to know them throughout this session. And speaking of, if you have any questions for any of our three panelists, anything you'd like to ask, or for us here with Bloom, please submit them at any time using the Q&A and chat button along the taskbar, and we'll address them at the end of the program. Everyone should be able to send messages through the chat, but if not, we can get your questions in a different format. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. I'll turn it over to all of you, to our panelists in no particular order. Please tell us a little bit about what inspired you to become a small business owner.
Okay, I guess I'll go first.
Yeah.
What inspired me was I wanted to wear clothing that had a meaning and just meant something. Like it's hard to find pro-Black clothing that is affirmative and just speaks positivity and beautiful things about our culture. So I decided that I was just going to make some shirts for myself, and then it ended up being a thing. People were like, "Oh, where'd you get that?" And I told them, "Oh, I made it." And then it kind of just snowballed from there. I started doing customs for people, and that kind of put me in the mindset that I could actually do this for myself and put all the hard work in that I'm putting in for other jobs, working 8, 12, 15-hour days for them. I could do this for myself. And I kind of liked that idea way more. So that's what kind of put me in the position to start my own business.
That's great. So kind of that mindset and shift of rather than working for someone, you're becoming your own boss and CEO of your growing enterprise. That's wonderful. Thank you. Pierra?
Yes. So what made me start my business was that I was always interested in the health and beauty field, especially skincare and body care. So I wanted to help the community a little bit. I educated myself, went to schooling and all of that stuff. And then I wanted to just educate other people on topics that we didn't even know about, like being minorities, we're supposed to wear sunscreen. A lot of us never knew that. So it's just a lot of information that I took on the education. So that's why I wanted to start my own business and everything like that, just to help out the community, help out women of color, even other minorities.
Great. And how long have you had your business?
I had my business at my location now. It will be a year, July 1st.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
And last but not least, Ronalda.
Yeah, so actually I'm thinking about this question. I realize it's been a really long time since I've been a business owner. And what actually started me was back in 2010, I was serving in ministry and my leader saw something in me and she encouraged me to become a business owner. I was just helping her around and she kind of went, you can make money doing this. People would pay for this services, the support services that you're giving to me. And I was like, that was a thing that people would do. And so I basically took her at her word and started that first business. And now here we are 12, 13 years later, and I'm taking all of that experience, like you shared in my bio, being a single mom, my professional background, and to create this coaching and consulting firm. But the genesis of it was someone simply saying to me, did you ever think about starting a business, doing what you're doing just passionately and just freely that comes naturally to you?
That's great. So as all of it, as you've seen your own personal evolution, it's what led to the development and launch and growth of this business.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, it certainly sounds like all three of you share, in addition to being amazing business owners in the York County community, you all share a passion for the business and the services that you're looking to provide in the community. So thank you for that. We'll keep on to we'll continue to our next question. Again, this one is open for the three of you and in no particular order, or actually maybe we'll start reverse, Ronalda, Pierra, and then Mica. All of our businesses are different from each other. Can you share how connecting with resources from the Bloom Business Empowerment Center, YCEA, and Downtown Inc. have helped you along the way?
For sure. So for me in particular, I attended Bloom Small Business Classes 101 and 201 last year. And by taking those classes, I made connections with other business owners, first of all. I also got introduced to other small business resources like Downtown Inc. and YCEA, EASBDC, WBCO, just a ton of other agencies in York that I didn't know existed. And so there are places that have been active and they're accessible and they're looking to support small businesses like ours that we're talking about today. So I think that is the best thing that has come from connecting with Bloom and the sister organizations that you all partner with and share out for additional resources that small businesses need.
Great, thank you so much. Pierre?
Yes, just to piggyback off of what she said, yes, absolutely. I attended the class also, and it was just great knowledge, especially the legal of the business. I did not know anything about that. And then a lot of the stuff was refresher, but honestly, just connecting with other small businesses, just networking, having relationships with them, talking to them, like asking questions. That was one thing that I didn't do and I was scared to do, but now I just ask a bunch of questions. So yes, so absolutely. The Bloom class definitely helped.
And Mica?
Yeah, I ask a lot of questions and I know I'm annoying sometimes to people. But I had actually found out about Bloom and the different organizations that try to help businesses through being an artist in resident at the Parliament Arts organization. So through that, I learned about all the different resources that I could take advantage of and participate in. And I had filled out a Bloom grant for some affirmation classes for inner city Black youth to teach them, just some positive things. So through that, I had won the grant and I've been doing the classes ever since. And then through that, I learned about even more resources. I had no idea York had so many available things for small business owners to even do things for the community and just for themselves too. So it's been an amazing process with trying to figure it all out.
Definitely a lot of information, but again, if you like to ask questions, it's great because there's going to be a lot of resources to connect you all with. So a lot of great information. And Mica, I'll continue with you. We're shifting into some of our more directed questions. As you talked about your success with the Bloom Grant in your mission of the youth brand and the branding process, as you've developed your business, how have you aligned the brand or the mission of your business into your engagement in the community? You mentioned a little bit about working in the community in your last answer.
Yeah, so actually this past weekend, I had just wrapped up my 3-day event with the Juneteenth chalk wall. So it was a community project. We all painted the wall together from start to finish. And then I ended with a celebration with just writing on the chalkboard wall about all the different things that kids could draw on it, or they could share different experiences. So it was like a lot of beautifully written notes and stuff all along the wall. So it was really cool. But my brand specifically, I always wanted to not just sell some clothes. I always wanted to make a way for kids that I looked at like myself. And I wanted to be a motivator and someone who they could look up to as a role model, a Black woman in the community doing positive things for them. So I always wanted that as a child in different ways. So I felt like this was the perfect opportunity to wrap my brand around, not just, making some really cool, witty shirts, but how could I inform people with it? How could I help kids know that they're Black and beautiful or brown and beautiful? Just what could I do positively with the platform that I have in the community? So it's both, they both go together. There isn't like a difference between the two. They both are working well with each other.
That's amazing. You've created this beautiful synergy between the two, and it's leading to, like you mentioned, the project this weekend. So where is that wall? If anybody, can someone go and check it out and see the final product?
Well, currently the wall is in my storage unit, but yes,
Okay.
I had to put it somewhere. So it's like about a 12-foot by 5-foot wall. So I actually plan on loaning it out to the city and different organizations for different community projects. So anyone can let me know, hey, we'd like a nice, cool art piece, and could we borrow your wall? Absolutely. So it's definitely something that I plan on writing a letter to all the different organizations, letting them know that they can use it. Just let me know and I'll grab my pickup truck and drop it off.
Oh, delivery included. Amazing. Oh, that's perfect. So anyone listening today or anyone watching the recording later on, if you are part of an organization or working towards a community event and want to have a great community art piece, contact Mica. You have that. Awesome. Thank you so much. And now, Pierra, could you tell us a little bit about, your business has also seen an evolution. You're a year into your location in the WECO district in the city of York, but you have been practicing and you've launched your business years before that. Could you tell us a little bit, and could you tell the audience about how did you know when it was the right time to launch? I know some of you talked about, launching your business was because someone said, why don't you start your own business? So at what point does that click of, I want to be my own boss and launch my business? And throughout that process, how did you navigate with any challenges that may have come up?
Yes, so I'm going on 5 years of being a licensed esthetician. So prior to me opening up my own business, I was working at another business, and just promoting myself and word of mouth, I outgrew the business. I gained a lot of clientele, and I had no other choice but to open up a bigger establishment. So when you know that it's your time to move on and open your business is when everybody is telling you, clients including, is like, okay, you need a bigger location. You're outgrowing, you're outspanding, you're learning so much more. Like you kind of need your own establishment. And that's what I kept hearing. At first, I didn't even think about owning my own business. I was very comfortable where I was at. I loved where I was at. So moving from Mount Rose down to the WECO downtown, it was very challenging. But the clientele I already had, it was just gaining more clients, especially in the downtown area, but everything is foot traffic. So I was blessed for that. Now the challenges that I do overcome is a lot of bumps and in the road leading to your journey, but you just have to keep going. And that's what I did. I just kept going. I didn't give up. I would be like, okay, this happened. Okay, let me see how I can, turn this situation into a positive. I always had to think like I was grateful for what I had and what is more to come. So for the challenges, I just had to keep pushing through it.
Is that yeah, is that your messaging behind the challenges of just pushing through, is that something you would share with other entrepreneurs that are on today's session, or maybe someone that's interested in starting a business?
So my advice that I would give for the challenges is just that it depends on the type of challenge. If you would need help, ask. I'm telling you, ask for help. Ask a bunch of questions. No question is dumb. No question is common sense. You could Google, like that's how I Googled and found Bloom, so I just Googled it and see what information should I know about my business. And Bloom popped up, Susquehanna Score popped up. Like it was just a lot of stuff that popped up of information. So I kind of just did my own research. So I would say do your own research and just ask questions. And I also ask other business owners how the position, how did they get in that position? What was the error in their, they messed up at? So I would know what to do in their assistance. I would just ask a bunch of questions. So I would just say that just ask questions. That's all.
Thank you for that. And as you were answering, we received a question into the chat that maybe we can open it up to Mica and Ronalda. Speaking of challenges, could each of you share about any of the challenges that you may have experienced as a business owner and how you address them?
Share on that question. I think for me, one of the biggest things that I was challenged by, and I think we might agree as business owners and just people developing and maturing, is gaining the actual confidence in myself, in my skills. Because like I said, I didn't start out to be a business owner. My life goals were completely different than owning a business. And it wasn't until someone said, you can do a business, or you started the business and you're getting a lot of customers and things are going well, that you think about doing it at another level, doing it at a greater capacity. And then you have that moment of, can I really do that? And so that's the biggest challenge, is that internal conversation. But like Pierra was saying, when you surround yourself with like-minded people, business-minded people, and you ask those questions and get the guidance from them, that fills you up to be able to go forward and grow your business and overcome whatever challenges you're facing.
Absolutely. I think that's a really great point. I think a challenge that I've had specifically with clothing is people of other races feel like they can't wear some of the shirts that I have. So of course, some of them are very geared towards I don't know, stereotypical Black sayings or funny sayings and stuff like that. So I had actually thought about it and I was like, you're right. And support to me is inclusive. So I have created shirts or designs that anyone could wear. So that way they can all feel like they're supporting a Black owned brand in their own way. Or the affirmation classes or anything like that. I've created links so that way, if you don't feel comfortable wearing a shirt or something like that, or it's not your style, you could easily just support through any of those other channels that I have going on. So I think that was kind of my biggest challenge, was I'm creating inclusivity for everyone.
Great. Thank you all for sharing that. And thank you to the audience that submitted that question. Again, this is a great time to remind everyone, if you have questions, please use the chat feature or the Q&A, and we will get to them throughout today's session. So just moving along to some of our other questions. Ronalda, again, as we've talked about education, information, and you mentioned in your introduction, you've been part of our Bloom educational classes, our 101s and 201s. You've become a member of WBCO and have attended the monthly luncheons. How has do you feel that has helped your business? And if so, how has that helped with your business?
Absolutely, without a doubt, just being more present in the business community around taking advantage of the opportunities that are either free or low cost has benefited me. I think Pierra was saying it before, the Bloom classes particularly, they are just such a wealth of information. And some of it is just a reminder, a refresher, and some of it is new information, right? That we're learning from these experts that are giving their time and sharing those things with us. And like I just said, just the whole experience last year has really rebuilt my confidence as a business owner and having that trajectory of where I'm going and what I want to do. And so some of it for me educationally was a refresher and some of it was new information. But at the end of the day, the value that has been added to me as a person and me as a business owner has been priceless. And I really feel more empowered and confident and assured about what I'm doing as a business owner, because we have the things that we love to do. We have the passion, but when we roll it into a business, there are other things we need to do: the LLC formation, the bookkeeping and accounting, the scheduling, the client interactions, like all of those things are what go into causing us to be successful business owners, right? And so just the classes and the networking and the opportunity to even sit on this panel and hear from fellow business owners is absolutely valuable and beneficial.
Yeah, I brings an interesting question for the three of you, and you can just head that. Before today's panel, did the three of you know each other? Oh, okay. Mica has been following y'all.
Yes, yeah, a little bit. I'm like, I try to, keep in touch with who all is doing amazing things in the community and whatnot. So yeah, and then I had actually stopped by Pierra's shop for the first time a few days ago, and it's so lovely, and I love the vision that she has for it. So I'm excited to get some services done there myself.
That's awesome. And Pierra, you're muted if you wanted to say anything.
I was saying thank you. I was saying yes, I knew Mica prior. Oh my God, lovely, lovely lady. Very, 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 very determined. Her business is great. What she does for the community is great. Like the vision that she has, and like speaking to her, she's very passionate about it. I'm telling you, when you have the passion for what you do, your job becomes 10 times easier. You love it. So I just love talking to her.
That's awesome. And Ronalda, now you have two great other fellow entrepreneurs to connect with and grow your network. So that's wonderful. And it sounds like Ronalda, I also may have to borrow your passionately pursuing purpose. Maybe Mica, that's the next t-shirt design. We have some next steps after this session. So, alrighty. Well, we'll keep moving along with some of our questions. And again, to our audience, please share any questions that you may have using the Q&A and chat feature. So, Mica, this question is directed to you. What suggestions do you have for fellow business owners, future business owners that are interested in connecting with funding opportunities? We know that being a business owner, as Ronalda was sharing, there's the entity filing. There's so many different components outside of just starting a business. So how can someone connect with some of the financial resources?
I think Pierra brought up a great point, which was Google. Google everything. Like I said, I had actually found out about funding opportunities through being an artist in resident at the Parliament. So even if you're connected with organizations like that, or you're connected with friends of friends who are in positions such as yourself too, like I think that it makes a huge difference when you can have that information. And sometimes it's information overload. Like sometimes I get all the information and then I just sit it down somewhere and then I come back to it in increments, because it's a lot, which is a great problem to have though. York has so many options. So I definitely think the best place would be to go to your website, and they can kind of from there pick and choose what works best for them. But don't leave anything out. I think ask questions about all of them, because I found out about opportunities that I didn't even know were for me, that I could take advantage of. So I think just going through everything would be great. And like I said, it's information overload, but just deal with it on your own time and, try to figure out what works best for you.
Great. And I think, one of the themes is always ask questions, whether it's to Google or if you're navigating on the website and you're like, hey, I have some questions. And for anyone listening in, as you're going on the bloomyork.org website, you're able to see information on our upcoming education programs, any type of direct grant programs that we might have open, and certainly our financing opportunities. We are a small business micro lender, so we are able to meet with businesses and see what about some of their financial capital needs. And those are loans that can help support businesses from startup to growth to so many different stages. But also, as we know that there's so many resources, on the Bloom York website, there's a section on partners, and that's where you can see and navigate and pick and choose based on your needs. What are some other organizations that you may want to reach out? But certainly ask a lot of questions, and fill out all the forms and sign up for newsletters. Bloom has a newsletter, Downtown Inc. has a newsletter where and great merchant groups that can help share all of the information.
I believe you have checklists on the website as well, and that actually helped me a ton, to get things organized, because sometimes it's like, okay, where do I even start? So the checklist kind of help get financial information in order and ideas in order, just a way to just put it all down on paper and then go from there. So
yeah, well, thank you for checking out the website and some of those parts. And totally agree. It can be a lot. It can be overwhelming. But that's also why we really encourage, and are thankful for all three of you and anyone that's tuning in, and want to encourage, reach out to us. Really all of this process of being an entrepreneur, it's one step at a time and working, one bit by bit and towards your next goal. So if you're looking at that checklist that Mica mentioned, and you're like, this is a whole bunch, or I'm not sure what this is, reach out, ask a question. What does this acronym mean? Because there are a lot of acronyms, and again, we're happy to help direct and navigate and the all the teams here. So thank you. And Pierre, we're going to shift to you. Again, your business has been growing. You have a beautiful space in the WeGo district, as Mica shared. How do you prioritize, again, on the timing of things? And you're working on the design of your business, or just the interior space. How do you navigate between that, your marketing? You have an Instagram page where you promote your business, seeking funding, education. There's so many things. How, what are your suggestions? What were your steps in navigating through that?
My steps was, I wanted a luxury place for everybody to come to feel comfortable, to enjoy it, to have a different experience. Again, I'm a solo esthetician, meaning that I'm by myself in a spa. So I just wanted, so the interior is very soothing. I wanted it very zen. So that was my top priority, to be honest, was to have a comfortable place for my clients. Everything leads up to my clients, like happy clients, the saying, happy wife, happy life. Like my whole thing was just happy clients. My life is happy. So my life is better. So I wanted, my clients are my top priority. So that's what I did with that. And then for the rest of it, funding, I haven't gained any funding yet. I will be applying for grants and stuff. Like now that I know that the option's out there and everything, I will be doing that. And what was the question? Sorry.
Well, you're answering, just there's a lot to juggle with as
Yes.
being a business owner. How do you juggle it all, or how do you prioritize? How do you know when to do what, or what to shift your focus to? So
Okay. Yes, and then social media, like from my business page, my Instagram to my Facebook, I try to respond as quick as possible. Like I try to get back to everybody as quick as possible. I still don't think that people understand that it's just me in the business. So they're like, oh, can I reach Pierre? Can I run her messaging me? And I'm like, oh yeah, I am running it. Like it's me. I'm everything. So I try to get back to everybody as soon as I can get back to people. I try to get back to all my emails as soon as I could get back to people. I know some people are like, oh my God, I messaged her like 2 days ago. Like I try so much just to get back to everybody. So the priorities is definitely up there, like looking definitely going to be hiring soon. So but the priorities, just juggling everything is a challenge, but I get through it. I managed to get through everything. I managed to get back to everybody. So it is tough, but hey, that's what I signed up for.
And now you mentioned that you are the only employee, you're the only one practicing, but also you're the one behind the social media, the emails, anything at all, you're it. But you're hoping to grow. How about for you, Mica, Ronalda, do you have other employees? Are you the CEO, CFO, CE, anything, insert anything here?
I wanted to laugh so much when she said it's just me, because yeah, it's just me. Like all the Rainbow Rose shirts that they did for their Pride Festival, it was like 200 and something. It was just me that did all of them. I have another bulk order for like 175 blankets. That's just me. So sometimes I'll have my nieces and nephews help me with stuff.
Fantastic.
So family, it definitely helps having an amazing support system. Family, friends, because they're always willing. Sometimes I'll do like pizza parties and like, help them come down and so they can help me do some stuff. But yeah, it's definitely just me. Social media, I swear I need to hire someone because I'm lacking on that. That's a whole job in itself. But yeah, it's just me. So sometimes there are some challenges with that, but I find that I have had the pleasure and I've been blessed to been working with super understandable people. So my turnaround is typically quick, but yeah, sometimes it gets difficult because it's just me. So I would love to hire someone, and I plan on doing that as the business grows. But for right now, yeah, it's just me.
Yeah, same. So I am a solo provider in the business, but it's just interesting that that's one of the things one of the services that I do, a lot of talking to other business owners about what resources are available beyond just your family and your friends and whatever. And where do you want to hire that help? One of the first biggest decisions you have to make as a business owner is who's the first hire. Is it social media? Is it someone that can print shirts? Is it someone that can service clients, and what does that look like? So I am by myself, but I've learned over time how to manage that. And I know who my first hire is going to be, probably co-working with me and Mica doing that social media, because it is a headache and a half to keep up that stuff. But it's a good problem to have, as they said.
Great, thank you all. Very quick shameless plug. If you are interested in learning about social media engagement and creating Google business profiles through our Bloom education, we hosted a Bloom bootcamp session earlier this spring. That recording is on our bloomyork.org website, where a local marketing small business shared some really great tips, and social media, all of that just keeps changing, by the day. So really trying to talk about some of those challenges and some great tips. So that's on the bloomyork.org website. So we're shifting into some of our questions that are for all three of you. So please feel free to unmute yourselves to our panelists and chime in and throughout. So we've talked a lot about where each of you are in your business, what led to you starting your business, how you're connecting in the community, and much more. If you had to share one piece of advice for each of you in your past, maybe as in the past starting the business, is there any advice that you would share with past Pierra, past Ronalda, past Mica, as you were getting ready to start a business? You chuckled, we'll start with you.
I think the confidence thing that Renata had brought up was a really good point. Like just having the confidence to really say, I'm gonna do it. Like, I think we are our own worst critics, as artists and as, business owners, because we want things to be right and we're passionate about what we do. So I think, just having the confidence to just, number one, ask for help, ask questions for sure, and having the confidence in doing and loving what you're doing and knowing that it's going to be successful and knowing that it's going to be received well by everyone. I think that just getting over that hump is, I think, the biggest thing that could hold you back is yourself.
Pierra, Ronalda?
I think if I were to look back at, past me and give myself any piece of advice, it will really be linked to trusting that inner guidance, right? Knowing that what's inside of you will never let you astray, right? And so for me, that's the Holy Spirit. And when he says yes, I have to say yes. When he says no, I have to say no. Through everything that I've experienced in my business, I've learned the hard way how to follow that inner leading, and it's what informs me as a coach and a consultant now, right? Like we've been talking about, the underlying theme I feel like is the mentorship, is getting connected to organizations and people that are going to sow into you, and that you can glean their wisdom and their experience. And so what I would look back and tell myself is, listen closely to my inner guidance, and listen closely to the guidance of people that have already done what you're doing, because they've learned lessons and you don't have to learn it the hard way.
Absolutely, I agree. That was my big lesson, is just listen to that gut feeling. That little butterfly, sometimes that's that gut feeling that's telling you maybe you should do a little bit more on this. Maybe you should do some research, So I would definitely tell myself, just slow down. Like it was a young lady that told me that fast success builds ego, slow success builds character. So ever since knowing that, I just slow down. So I'm not trying to get everything fast. I was trying to get everything done and out the way, and then I messed up. So yeah, so now everything is just slow pace. I take my time with everything.
You got some head nods. All of you, I think, agree with the messages you would share with your past selves. So, and speaking of the community and the county where you are all in as business owners, what's one thing, this is also open for all three of you, so chime in at any point throughout as this part of the question, but what experiences as a business owner now, or as a business owner now, I should say, sorry, what's one thing you wish that your community knew about you or could change to support businesses in the future?
I could go first. I wish that my community knew for my business is that some spas, we care about mental health. Like, we want you guys to come and relax. Self-care is very important. Like, everybody preaches it, but it's very important. Like, it's very important to take care of yourself, take care of your mental health. It's just very important to just relax, just have that soothing, calm time to just relax. It doesn't matter if you're getting a massage. It doesn't matter if you're getting your hair done, your nails done, your feet done. It doesn't matter. Even if the men are coming in to get their beard treatments, it doesn't matter. It just matters about just relaxing. Mental health is very important. Self-care is very important. Self-love is very important. Anything that can boost your confidence, do it. Even if you're a single mom, single dad, like, it doesn't matter. We should just always feel relaxed and feel like, we all have challenges. We all are dealing with something, but I'm very, very, how do I explain? Like, I feel like that self-care is very important. So I drill it into all of my clients' head, like, okay, you should be doing this to yourself. You should be doing that to yourself. Like, it's very important just to have that peace of mind. Peace is everything that we need. So it's just very important just to, take the time for yourself, take the time just to go for a walk, do something. But I just want my community to know that, by getting a service, by getting a treatment, by going somewhere, it takes a toll on you. Like, it's a good feeling to have. It might make your day better. It might make your week better. That's all I'm saying. So that's what I could say for the community.
You're asking everyone to give themselves grace.
Yes. Yes.
Sure. I think one thing I would want the community to know is, I know it's super corny, but it's like, be the change that you want to see. Actively do just little things here and there that can help with your community. I think I started doing it for myself. I would take out, because I'm a Walmart loving girl, because Target is a trap to me. I spend way too much time in Target. So shopping locally is really important. Shopping at your local businesses means the world to us. And I know we're a little biased because we're, business owners downtown locally, but it really does make a difference. If you can just change one habit, hobby, or just one thing out of your normal routine that you do. Maybe you shop locally, or you shop at Walmart for your soaps. Maybe go to a downtown local store for that. Just changing one thing out of your life and doing that locally in your community makes such a huge difference. Just it's giving back to your community in just some way, shape, or form that means the world to us. Or even if you just refer one or two friends to a local business, those one or two people makes a huge difference in our end of the month numbers or that type of thing. So just shopping locally with your downtown people is just such a big thing. Please do it.
And as you're supporting local too, please check out the Downtown York website. It has all of the information on the districts in the downtown, but also vendor information and information from the districts app. So a great way to connect and see what everyone is doing, and come and check out our First Friday. So sorry, Ronalda, I cut you off.
Oh, no, absolutely not. No, you're hosting. You can do whatever you want. No, but I would really, really piggyback on what Mica said. It's just as far as knowing that we're here, right? Because we've launched our businesses, we've done the groundwork, but it's getting to the place where our community, locally, our clients, our target audience knows that we're here and we have the services that they have need of, that we have the affirmative shirts, we have the opportunity for self-care, and you can do that locally, and for myself as a life coach and a business consultant, that one of the things that's very important for me that I definitely want to take a minute to share is that I operate my life and my business from a platform of faith. And in business, I found that we want to separate the two. And so I want my community to know, I want York to know that there's a way that you can integrate your faith with your business. You don't have to separate the two, and you can learn how to do the operational things, the administrative things, the corporate culture of your organization that aligns with your faith, and do it well, right? And so to be a supportive resource for individuals that are wanting to do that and learn to prioritize that personal affirmation and the self-care and run a business and manage your family and manage everything else that you do. And so just knowing that it's possible, that it can be done, and there is a local resource in Realize the Greatness that can help you navigate what that looks like intentionally. And that's where we come to what you pulled out, Suli, passionately pursuing purpose and living from your light without burning out, because we're solopreneurs, we're doing all the things, but how do we prioritize to keep our heads on and keep pushing toward that slow growth that's going to build character and glean finances in the end of the day? So that's what I want everyone to know.
That's great. So much great information. And as you mentioned, I mean, Mica, again, I know I've said this before, but we've got a lot of like t-shirts and branding that we are going to have after this. And you can call, I'll offer myself, you don't have to just call your nieces and nephew. If you need help making some shirts, I love folding a good shirt. So
I'm terrible at folding. That's my work.
Oh, there you go. See, we're all bonded after this. Well, thank you for sharing this information. I know we have a lot of questions and comments in the chat, so I'm going to quickly open that up to see. I know we only have a few minutes left, so we'll try to get to as many as we can, and if not, we'll. I know some of you have asked for contact information for our panelists, and I see that they've already put that in the chat, but we'll also be able to share some of that information. So Q&A and juggling a few screens here. Let's see. So regarding Pierra, you got a repeat that, so kudos to you. It was like 10 minutes ago, but I'm sure everything that all of you have said is worth repeating. So kudos to all of you. This will be for any one of you. What would you suggest to be in the rooms with others for networking purposes? In particular, the person that shared this question shared that it's been hard for them to find events to network.
What was the question one more time?
Oh, sure. What would you suggest for anyone in the audience to be in the rooms, to be in the tables where the meetings and the networking are taking place? It's been hard for them to find events. So how would you network? What's the best way?
I network through the websites, obviously, going on to Bloom's websites and even Downtown Inc.'s websites, just looking at different things like that. They're always posting seminars or webinars, as well as even just info about things that other organizations are doing. The support is really good amongst everyone, sharing and liking and to everybody's stories about this person has this going on and this person has that going on. So sometimes you can find yourself networking in a room that you found off of someone else's page that doesn't really have any involvement with but the support is just so grand. I have a board member, her name is Jolene, and she is like a great cheerleader for me. And she sits on multiple boards for other organizations in York. So she's always letting me know about different things that are going on. So I find that if you can just put yourself in a situation where you know at least two people who are immersed in downtown York's information with like all this stuff, you'll be able to easily find all the information that you would like to know about different things going on.
Thank you so much.
I would say, look for the networking events that, try to look for the ones that align with your brand, with your clients, with where you are. But I would also encourage people who are new to networking to use the buddy system. Like, just don't go alone, right? Because when you're in a room of strangers alone, the tendency to feel awkward and shy away and lean on the wall is increased. So if you can coordinate with someone else who's a fellow business owner or who understands the mindset and why you're going, they can be your wingman or wingwoman or whatever. So I would encourage that as well. So you get more comfortable in that space.
Great. Yeah, the buddy system definitely works. And Mica, as you mentioned, this is a way to network. It's virtual. But through the webinars that Downtown Inc., YCA, and Bloom can offer, or coming to a WBCO later this fall when we resume our programming, we certainly hope all of you that are tuning in, if you have any questions on events in the county or events in specific parts in the city or different parts of the county, please reach out to us. We'd love to have you join us as a guest. We host several events, virtual and in person. And would love to have you join us. And maybe Ronalda will be your buddy at a WBCO luncheon. At First Friday, we'll have Mica join you and give you a tour. Maybe she'll ask you to fold some shirts. But then you can go in and relax in the Waco district at Pierra's shop and studio.
It's very well-rounded. Yeah.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, again, hopefully everyone here now has some great plans, some great networks. But most importantly, we hope that throughout today's session, you've had a chance to hear how these wonderful entrepreneurs in the community are really creating their space and creating their legacy of their business in the area. So I know we have a lot more questions that were submitted, and thank you so much. I know we have you've all shared your contact information. And all of you are getting a lot more praises and flowers in the chats. Thank you for what you're sharing. But I do know that we have to start wrapping up. So I really, from the bottom of all of our hearts and thoughts, just want to say thank you to each of you, Pierra, Mica, Ronalda. Everything that you've shared has just been so wonderful, so inspirational and motivating. It's a great way to just create that. You've provided all of us with the grace and the way to make that time for ourselves. So thank you for sharing, and hopefully now from here you're all even more connected. And I just want to thank everyone else for joining us, PNC, and Susan for sharing information and supporting the series. We hope that the information shared today for all of you tuning in was valuable. We'll have all of our questions saved later, but this session is recorded and will be sent out. But you could also go to the bloomyork.org website and navigate through previous boot camps, see previous sessions. We can fill out some inquiry forms to learn about some of the other services that were mentioned here, from funding to signing up for our newsletter, which is monthly, to just connecting with upcoming events. So again, we really appreciate you all taking the time to join us. There is no Bloom Business Series webinar in July. But we'll be posting information soon about our August webinar, and you'll be able to find out more about that on our website, social media, but also newsletters. So again, thank you, Pierra. Thank you, Mica. Thank you, Ronalda. Thank you to all of you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you
having
for
me.
having us.
Yes, and we hope you enjoy the rest